fatal thought impact, past painful thoughts. In fact, I blast tasteful thoughts and past. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, quite a bit of things have been happening. In the last part, Deku, he was able to talk to a key. They've been able to get things better. The issues between human and yautja have been getting better. In fact, this weird thing between the species, the yautja, they saw humans as lazy. They saw them as arrogant. They saw them as prideful. However, Izuku, he was able to show the yautja that not every human is like that. Deku, he is a strange one to them. He took to their ways like a fish to water. And right now, just after about a year of trying to show that he is a very skilled and not to be taken lightly prey, he's become the head of a clan. In fact, the very humans the yautja did start to look at a bit differently. They are about to take a large leap, especially for their species. Now, Deku, it's been a few weeks, and he's standing in a room where he's talking with some scientists. Him going over quite a few things. As a scientist, they do at least show off what they've created with what Deku gave them. As Deku, he actually is currently holding on to an arm bracer and looking at it. He slipped it on and checked to see exactly what it's like. The armor, it is good. However, there's a problem. It's made of the basic materials from the Queen. And while it is semi-bulletproof, it's not completely. Along with that, you're essentially just wearing a set of leather armor. And Deku, well, that is defensive and acid-proof, yeah. He actually does at least ask the scientist about different ways to improve it and or possibly implement actual metallic materials inside of it. So not only will it be a little bit heavier, it will also actually provide some real protection. And currently the scientist, they are at least trying to go over that. Well, that is a possibility. It's also going to be challenging. You're trying to combine biological stuff with metals to try and produce something better. That can take some time. It's not impossible to say, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. Especially with the way they've described what they'd have to do. And Deku, he does at least provide them with some other things. As we do have where, while Deku, he's in the middle of this meeting, a scientist, they do get to actually speak up. What is it? I think that we should head back to Earth. Deku's staring at the scientist. As the scientist, they do actually get a few people backing them. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? We can finally head back to Earth. Why haven't you done that? Made a beeline for it. You were given a chance to head back, but you stayed. How about you give that chance to everybody else? Let them know exactly why we're all here. Some of us have families to head back to. I have a family to head back to. My parents, my brother, he was just out of high school whenever I left. I was abducted. And that was 5 years ago. So, send us back. Take us back. I mean, seriously, you're just being... It's not possible. What? It's not possible to head back to Earth. What, did the yacht have a tracker in your ship? Are they threatening you? Saying you can't shut up? All of them looking at Deku. As Deku, he does at least go to stare directly at the scientist. I'm about to say something. And if you any of you think about repeating this, there's going to be a problem. I was told I have the authority to tell all of you now, but I haven't. And there's a reason for that. Because I don't know how any of you will react. All of you are the smartest people on the planet. In fact, you're the smartest members of humanity. What's left of it. All of them staring around. This is the smartest minds of humanity? Wait, what do you mean by that? Deku at least going to walk over to a computer and go to bring something up. Him tapping a few things down onto his wrist bracer as he actually has go to bring the file up on the screen. And everybody, they do stare at what's up there. As Deku does at least start to spread out some information. And give the explanation. Earth, the blue marble that it used to be. Currently, it's not that. On the screen, it looks gray. And all the green life on it, it's gone. Along with even the ocean. It has a dark gray hue. And they don't really even know what they're seeing. They recognize the landmass. But that's all it is. And Deku, he does is going to bring up specks on the black goo. Informing them. This is what he believes caused it. Caused what? The end of humanity. All of them staring at Deku. They can tell by the way he's acting, he's not lying. Nor is he trying to make a joke. This biological pathogen, whatever it is, they dropped it on the planet. The yautja have found it in many other places. In fact, I'd say about 7, including Earth. However, Earth was the most recent casualty of this pathogen. In fact, that's it. There's another thing. The creatures who did this to our planet. Deku at least going to click something on his bracer. As while he's staring at the scientist, he does watch as many of their eyes do go wide. One scientist actually going to turn and vomit for a minute, while another one, they straight up just fall onto the floor and faint. And Deku, he's not really surprised. He felt pretty weak at the knees looking at this information, as they are staring at the data that shows a genetic match of the alien species. And Deku does at least talk about how the engineers, they destroyed the human race. Their alien, or their brother species, or their sister species, they wiped out their planet. And they're trying to get away with it. He doesn't want them to. So he's going to try and track the bastards down and get payback for their home planet. And a lot of the scientists, they are just staring at Deku. As he does inform them that if any of them, they do have the information leak from this room, they are all going to most likely be killed. The information is not classified. However, it is very heavy. So, he wants them to be aware of that. Deku going to walk away and inform them to either go have a drink or take the rest of the day off, since he knows how he reacted with this. Now, many of the scientists, yeah. There are several questions going throughout their minds, and many of them, they're more concerned with either something else that they've seen or heard. It's just this idea. Oh, by the way, here's an alien species that's basically similar to us, genetically, almost exactly like us, human-wise, and they killed our species. That's basically what Deku just said to them. There's so many things wrong with that sentence. Just trying to decipher it, it's not easy, to say the least. And Deku, whenever he did go to leave, he does actually walk outside, as he does start to help out with training some of the younger people who are here. He knows that many people, they want to learn more about the yautja culture, and even really just train and fight. In Deku, he wants to train up his unblooded warriors so that they'll actually be able to help make a difference. As we do currently cut to Aki, who, after at least talking to a few yautja and even training with some of them, she is currently in the human area. And she actually does find Deku teaching a few people about a few different moves he does know. As she does walk to the area, she does see Deku, who's staying there, and swinging around some of his weapons. As he's showing people different techniques he has for moving around with them, and even just different ways to hold it with your hands and the way your body can be stanced. A few people who are watching him, they are taking some notes, and others they are just trying to either mimic or copy Deku's movements. And Deku does try to at least instruct a few people as to what to do differently. Deku actually turning his head and seeing a key. As whenever he does so, he does actually somewhat start to hear something. Him actually turning and looking around. As whenever he does look towards the fence, something strange happens. All of a sudden, the strange fence, the area where you can see there's clearly something there, it starts to get more and more transparent before it finally does vanish. And that is something that Deku, he looks at and realizes almost immediately. The fence is down. The moment Deku sees that, he does actually look back towards the key, and she does stare over at him. As whenever Deku does go to bring his hand up to his gauntlet, he does start pressing down on a few buttons. However, he does realize that his gear, it's been powered off. That doesn't make sense. Deku running over to a key and trying to at least ask her what's going on, since this has no explanation. Whenever he does run to her and she does try to at least use her tech, it's not working. And Deku, he does look around at many humans. Some people, they're staring at their gadgets confused. Some trying to either power them on or just simply get them working. And whenever there's a commotion starting to be caused by this, Deku, he does try to get over to the scientist. Whenever he does go over to them, they're just as confused. Some of them, they were trying to work on other projects, and then the power turned off. No one knows what's happening. And we do currently have where Deku, he's informed many people to stay inside and get the hell away from any doors or windows, since if any animals are nearby their area, then there can be different problems. Many creatures on this planet are predatory, and they make the ones on Earth look like small fry, to say the least. Now, after Deku did at least give people this information, many of them they do start to try and shelter in place. As Deku, he himself does try to figure out what's going on. He heads with a key over to the area the yautja are at. And whenever the yautja are just as confused by some of their own instruments being taken out, it starts to at least make Deku realize something. This isn't some sort of attack on humanity. This is an attack on the planet. Deku, after realizing that, he does actually get a bit more paranoid. He wants to know if anything bad's gonna happen. And after at least being proven right by this, he himself does go back over to the human area. And after at least starting to gather people up, he does start to get them working. Okay, we have teams doing this stuff. We have teams making this stuff. We have teams gathering supplies, and we have teams doing this. Many of them, they are all confused. However, with Deku's leadership and guide, he does get many people working on weapons. Even some traps in case animals do start piling up. And right now, a lot of people, they're in a mass panic. They're being organized, yes, but that isn't stopping the chaos. And we do have later on into the day where the yautja, they're still trying to get everything back up and running. Even some of their scientists don't know what happened. However, Deku himself, yeah, he's mainly focused on trying to get things back up and running before nightfall. Because if night falls here, he's fairly certain that people will be killed by the animals, and he'd rather avoid that inevitability. Now, sadly, they were not able to get the generators fixed in time to turn the power back on. And because of this, you do currently have at sunset, where Deku he's standing in front of a large crowd of people. Deku seeing many humans and many yautja. As some of the yautja, they are well aware as to what's going to happen. They know exactly what happens when it gets dark on the planet. Many species come out to hunt. Some go into hiding and try to sleep. And they're about to have to deal with some of the most dangerous species on this side of the planet. They are not going to stand by and pass up a good hunt. And we do currently have Deku who's standing up in front of many people. As Deku, he does start to say a few things, informing people that he's well aware many of them, they're freaking out. However, if they're able to get through the night and or just maintain a defense on their homes, then they can survive. Deku, he's encouraging and asking people to pick up weapons. Pick up weapons and fight. To anyone who wants to at least defend their home, defend their place of, well, their all they know, basically, they are encouraged to. Deku even talking about how many of them, they have already decided to join the ways the yautja indulge in. And he is going to inform many of them. If they stand and fight tonight, to those who get a kill, he will personally mark them as blooded warriors, and he will give them their first weapons. Many people actually getting a bit more amped up. Some people raising bows, some people raising human weapons and firearms, and some people they are even raising torches. And we do currently have where the sun does crest over the hill for the last time. Deku watching the last bits of sunlight finally fade as he stares at the hill. The sun barely peeking over as the night goes from a deep color to shifting black. As it does actually happen, Deku and his people they do get ready, starting to light up torches and place them down in certain areas, just so that they do have visuals and can see. And we do actually have Deku where he is marking his face with some paint. And he himself is in the forest, getting ready for the hunt. And many yautja, they're also prepared. They have gone out. The humans, they're maintaining a defense so the yautja are on offense. And we do currently have a key. She herself was worried. This has never happened before. And she herself has doubts. Doubts that this is a coincidence. She thinks that there's a traitor. Someone who is purposely trying to destroy the human colony. And she is going to try and find out exactly who it is. Since this is becoming a lot more complicated. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.